This is the Cholo News Report for Tuesday, 28 August 2018. The United States and Mexico have reached common ground on key trade terms as pressure mounts for them to complete renegotiation of the North American Free Trade Agreement. Canada must still sign off on the agreement. They had a constructive conversation and look forward to having their teams engage this week with a view to a successful conclusion of negotiations, Mr. Trudeau's office said. Mr. Trudeau also spoke to outgoing Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto on Sunday, and the leaders shared their commitment to reaching a successful conclusion of NAFTA for all three parties. In order to meet that deadline, the Trump administration must present the United States Congress with a deal at least 90 days in advance by the end of this month, which is Friday. Negotiations among the three partners, whose mutual trade totals more than $1 trillion annually, have dragged on for more than a year, putting pressure on the Mexican peso MXN and the Canadian dollar CAD. Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto wants to sign the agreement before leaving office at the end of November, and Trudeau faces a national election expected by October 2019. A United Nations Human Rights Council report based on 875 interviews recommends Min Aung Hlaing and 5 other generals in Myanmar be investigated and prosecuted for genocide, crimes against humanity and war crimes since the 60s. Commando soldiers stand ready for a drill on the second day of the Sin-Fayushin joint military exercises in the Ayeyarwady Delta region, Myanmar, on February 3. The UN Human Rights Council's independent investigative report said that Myanmar's armed forces have failed to respect international humanitarian law since its counterinsurgency policy began in the 60s with civilians being killed, entire villages being destroyed and displacement of hundreds of thousands. The latest violence was sparked in August 2017, when a small number of Rohingya insurgents attacked police outposts, some with improvised explosive devices, killing 12 security officers. After widespread public and political criticism, United States President Donald Trump signs a presidential proclamation to return the White House United States flag to half-staff in respect to recently deceased Senator John McCain. The flag had been positioned at half-staff for less than 48 hours when it was raised back on Sunday night. Earlier in the day, Trump ignored almost a dozen shouted questions from reporters, asking for his views about McCain, who was a persistent critic of the president. For months, he has castigated NFL players who choose to kneel during the national anthem, accusing them at political rallies and in other settings of disrespecting the flag. The Washington Post reported Sunday that Trump had rejected the advice of top aides, who advocated for an official statement that gave the decorated Vietnam War POW plaudits for his military and Senate service and called him a hero. Afghan authorities say that, in a joint ground and air operation on Saturday night, Afghan and foreign forces killed the head of ISIL, along with 10 other members of the militant group. A large amount of heavy and light weapons and ammunition were destroyed during raids on 2 Islamic State hideouts. The provincial governor of Nangarhar said Ihobi was the 4th Islamic State leader in Afghanistan to be killed since July 2017. The strike was carried out by Afghan and coalition forces after receiving intelligence from Afghanistan's National Directorate of Security, Pogioni said.